We synced the last one, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Hope so.
Hopefully.
Items, restart, move, options, main, options, move, restart, items, resume. It's your turn.
Okay.
Hey, we're back. Right where we left off.
So, I was telling Jake, while we were, like, fucking changing
After I explained how my ex looks like a car.
I had, like, a thought. I'm trying to hold on to it while I'm doing this. So, like, to me, I kind of feel like, not like, okay, this is gonna sound like some fucking hippie-ass Buddhist bullshit, but I feel like there's, like, a fucking, like, an essence to everything I like. That kind of, like, has the, like, you know how, like, sometimes you can just, like, feel shit?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Like, everything I like has, like, a small part of the same feeling to it.
I know exactly what you mean.
And it feels like it, and I don't know if that's the feeling of how I feel. Oh fuck. Okay, how I feel like attracted to things, or if that's actually the things that I like all have like a similar feeling to them.
Yeah, I know.
Like, if it's a reaction in me or it's something out in the world, but like everything that I like has a kind of like, it seems like it should be there.
Yeah. It's gonna sound really weird. You probably did the same shit in middle school. I think everyone does. You ever listen to those songs when you're in middle school and you just think like, oh, imagine this song but with the perfect girlfriend? But you always like, you can't really imagine like someone looks. You just imagine like how you would be. I think that like never
fuck.
really.
I messed up.
You fucked up. I think that same
press?
thought kind of stays the same all the time. So, like, I think the same things that I thought in, like, maybe not middle school, maybe, like, you know, like high school or whatever, when you're just like, wow, if a girlfriend was like this, that'd be really sick. I think the same thing kind of applies when you think of it later. So, like, even now, you know, you go through a relationship and you find out what you don't like about it, whatever. I think even afterwards, you still are interested in the same type of deal or the same type of shit. Like, I don't think anything really changes.
Kind of, like, different for me, because like I feel like when you do like have that ideal person in your head, it kind of doesn't change that much, but at the same time, like I like last year I was like in the only, I guess, long-term relationship I'd say. It was like a fucking year I've been in, and it's like from that and like the other shit I've been through since it ended, what I considered long ago to like be the perfect type of person for me or whatever. Oh shit, I'm fucked.
You're getting toasted, my guy.
New item.
Okay, so here now we start getting the green orbs. That's the important orbs.
But like through all the stuff like that's happened and like me experiencing things like differently after like that relationship ended, it's like who I considered my ideal like person before. Oh wait, I can use this shit. I keep forgetting I have it now.
You have to rip the shields from him.
It's gone now. I destroyed it, I guess.
Oh.
But who I would have considered my ideal person has changed a drastic amount to where like.
Well, I think maybe like. I think when it comes to like the ideal person, not necessarily
the feeling that you get when thinking about it, I know what you're talking about. That doesn't change.
It stays the same. And then like I've had this thought every once in a while. Like you feel like, what if you? I think this is probably too deep to get into over DmC Devil May Cry.
Yo, we're just spouting bullshit anyway.
Wise.
We probably sound like fucking retards to anyone
Probably. They're like, these fucking nerds are talking about love and shit.
What the fuck are they talking about?
I'm trying to watch you kick ass. You fucking talking about love and shit. I don't care.
Yeah. Just fucking.
Anyways.
Slap a few studies to prove we're wrong in the comments, please. Just comment, please. Half-naked young children.
And my boy Andrew, he'll find himself on this
Andrew.
channel at some point. My boy Andrew, he told me one time. I was having kind of a deep talk with Andrew one day, and
he was deep inside.
And I was talking about like, you know, when you get a feeling for someone and then, you know, that person's not in your life anymore, you kind of have that or at least I had that like kind of irrational fear of like never feeling that again.
Yeah.
Being like, what if I never get that? And then Andrew brought up a good point. And he was just like, the way like. He was like, the way I love my friend Sal is a different way than I love you. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. So, like, the way you love people is different depending on who they are.
Sal is fucking sick, by the way.
Sal is the man. He was actually my wallpaper for a very long time. And then I got a real big hard-on for BioShock once again. So then I changed my background
I don't think
back
it ever
to
ended.
Rapture. It never ended. It just got re-aroused the other night, so I started playing through it, and then the background found itself to be back to Rapture the next morning.
Mine is currently a One Punch Man.
That's like a not even a full fedora. It's like a top hat thing.
I just don't like fedoras.
Me neither.
Our mother gave these to us.
Yo. So I found on Amazon that you can get like a replica of that for like maybe $40.
$40.
And when actually maybe it was probably less than that.
Hopefully.
But I always wanted to
Worse than death, they say.
I always wanted to cosplay
Never coming back.
Dante. So the moment I saw that on Amazon, I was like, "Yo, it's fucking happening."
Yo, I'll be a Black Virgil for you.
Well, now I'm split because if our girl Bree,
could
shout out to
probably
Bree.
be Virgil.
Yo, you're right.
He would. His eyes would look totally. Look.
Oh, you're
Yo,
super
that would
right.
be sick. Zach, you need to cosplay Virgil, por favor.
Poor favor.
Por favor. He's tall,
I
dark,
can
and
still
handsome.
actually, I would probably be able to do Dante better now that I'm not a chunky fat boy. Because Dante's not a chunky fat boy.
If we
He
ever
doesn't.
make
He also
rapper names. Can you be chunky fat boy?
chunky fat boy.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll be chunky fat fuck. I feel like that rolls off the tongue a little better.
Chunky fat fuck.
Chunky fat fuck.
You'll just be CFF for sure. Chunky fat fuck CFF.
CFF. Your boy CFF's
Right.
about to hop on. Ooh, you're right. Your boy CFF is about to hop on.
Look at them style points, my dude.
SS. Yo, we're hot dogging it on the style points.
Hot dog.
Completion though, not so much. Yeah. No. I think even when I first played through Skyrim, I like didn't give a shit about any of the side things. I just played through it.
Yo.
And a lot of people like to go through all the side things at first. Even in Fallout, the games that I now can spend countless hours in just running around doing shit. Not 4. 4 sucks. If you like 4, you have issues because that game is actual garbage. As I was saying, I like playing through the initial game first so I can soak up the story. And then once I get the story soaked up, that's when I go and do everything else. Alright, we're gonna Trinity smash.
It depends on if the thing's addictive, though, because, like, in Saints Row 4, I'll, like, collect every cluster possible before moving on, for no reason.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Because it's fucking addicting to collect them. I just had a thought pop up before, though. Like, on the things of, like, the feeling, the specific feeling of attraction you have. I wonder if others, like, feeling of attraction is, like I know they're attracted to different things, but I wonder if the feeling is different.
It's the same or different?
Yeah. And if
that.
you could, like, feel someone else's attraction, would you be disgusted by it when you felt it?
Well, hold on. And I've always had this weird thing where, like, having, like, a long-term relationship, whatever, always having that feeling, like, do they
you the
do
same
they,
way
yeah,
like
or not the same way, because I think it's impossible to find out if the emotion is the same, because everyone I think experiences love in a different way, even if it's a different, it can still be whatever. But it's always like, do they feel that emotion as much as I feel an emotion about them? Like, is it equal?
Yeah.
And I always feel like
the intensity.
Yeah, like, would they risk as much for me as I would for them? Like, I've always had that feeling, and I feel like once you find, whoever it is that equals out to you, I think you'll know.
Yeah, but
I think it'll be very. I think the moment you stop worrying about it is when you know that you found like someone who
my thing
cares
is
about
that,
you as much as you do them.
With the whole like beginning to meditate and like stuff like that, and like blah 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 consciousness. Long story short, read some Buddhist books, kids. But stuff with that is that like you start you eventually start to come to a point where you stop worrying about that, not because you find someone else that matches you in that intensity, but because the intensity doesn't matter and what you receive doesn't matter. It's what you put out there that matters and nothing else. To a point where it's just kind of like, instead of because I don't think healthy relationships are based off how much you would risk for the other person.
Well, no,
I think,
see, that's not what I meant. That was more of like,
well,
like an example,
no, but that's what I'm saying, that
But
people
yeah.
get kind of entangled in that thing, like I need to find someone who will give as much back to me as I give to them, which in a way that's relatively true, but at the same time I feel
Well, I
like
think it's
to be
more,
in a healthy relationship you need to be able to not worry about that.
I don't think it's about that of about giving or taking. I think it's more of just, do they feel the same, you know, intensity for me as I do for them. Is like like I don't know how to, like, okay, so I guess this is gonna sound kind of weird. It's gonna be like a weird analogy, and I don't know if it'll make entirely sense, but it's like, so say like two people both have handguns, and they're like, all right, I'll protect you.
Yeah.
And one person has a full magazine of ammo, but the other person only has like 3 rounds. Do you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like a really weird analogy.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen the one with a person that has like $100 and gives you 20, and then the person who has $20 and gives you 20.
Yeah,
like
that's exactly.
Yeah.
It's the same idea. Are they just telling me about this? They're just telling me about these ranks now. It's a little late, buddy.
Yo, what if all of our depictions of him were wrong and he was like a gigantic bald bouncer?
Yo, what's really funny is, as a kid, we went to church and stuff, but not like, I don't remember any. Like, I remember going to church, but I don't remember anything they taught me. Hell, none of it.
Yeah.
I just remember always as a kid, before even watching Bruce, Evan, is it the first one's Bruce, right? Bruce Almighty. Yeah, I always thought that God was just like a black dude in a suit. Always. I don't know why. There was never a reason or an explanation. No one ever told me that's what he looked like. I was just always.
I kind of wish you like held on to that innocent belief.
I always just under the impression that, well,
just like
God is a black man in a suit. Have you seen Morgan Freeman? He is actually God.
Yo, it's Neil deGrasse Tyson now.
Yeah.
After Logic's album. Shit was fucking flames. Fucking we were talking about like rappers. We were talking about how like Alec like thinks Yachty and the Migos are like the best shit ever in the world.
Oh yeah, 'cause he's
and like
an idiot.
he thinks Kendrick like and J. Cole like suck dick.
What the fuck?
And we were like, and so he was like, nah, I'm not about that like J. Cole and Kendrick thing. Like they're fucking good. And so I was like, yo, and like Logic's good too. And he's like, yo, Logic is trash. And I was about to like yo, that then.
See, and so he's a very, very good. What we were talking about, I think probably in like the first episode, the beginning of the game,
Yeah.
where people think things are, regardless of if they're actually good or not.
It's been like an hour since we played that episode, and we're still like fucking.
Yeah. People, even just because they don't like it, they call it not good. Like, they think it's not good just because they don't personally like it. And people don't recognize how something can be good or skillful.
Yeah. No, I recognize how the music Alec likes can be good, but I call it trash because I that's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, well, no, and I agree with you. I think Migos and them is like, the music itself is actually not good.
And
I'm not calling it trash because
I like
don't
the Migos
like
and I like some of Yachty's songs, but it feels like.
But the music itself is actually not of like a skill.
This is an opinion. I'm not like trashing the hard work these guys put in for like their shit, but it feels.
They don't put in hard work. All the beats are created by
No, but that's what I'm saying.
People.
That's what it feels like at times. That like on that the music that like people at the top like Kendrick and J. Cole, and I honestly don't know like numbers and shit and if they're actually at the top, but like fucking people that I respect greatly for the amount of creativity and thought and like craftsmanship they put in their music are on a different level from that type of music. So it's not that I don't enjoy the Migos or enjoy like Lil Yachty or Lil Uzi Vert or anything like that, but like when I listen to like J. Cole or Kendrick or Logic or someone like that, it there's like a difference in like the thought, the message, and the story, especially the whole message behind it. Because people like Logic with peace, love, and positivity, and even J. Cole's about that kind of stuff too, and Kendrick to some extent. And it's kind of like, I feel like that's the type of music that should be out there, and the type of music that important because of the message it gives out, and like stuff like trap music and shit like that sounds good, and it's something to be enjoyed and like fucking party to and shit like that, but I don't see it like changing the world in a positive way.
Yeah, no,
which is why when like Alec or like someone says that they think like those are like the best rappers ever, like relatively to me that doesn't make too much sense, because the best rapper ever to me would not only be someone that advances their industry, but also advances rap as like an art form that's valuable to the world.
Yeah, so they're good. So like the way I kind of see it is like Kendrick, Logic, stuff like that, opinion or not, some of them are considered the best in like, the rap genre. But you also have to think like they're good at a platform that already exists. They have not created anything of their own. They have not created, anything original in the sense of something that doesn't already exist.
Well, I feel like
so what I mean by that is they're good, but they did not create anything that doesn't already exist. They use hi-hats, they use snares. They were not innovative in any way.
I mean, Kendrick's music is pretty innovative.
And it is. It's different. And don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying like it's completely not, innovative or it's not completely different. But what I'm saying is being the best at something that has become so oversaturated and something that we could do tonight if we wanted to, where you create a beat and then you rhyme over it. That's something that's
the difference
existed.
in skill is like the...
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
okay,
so hear me out. And I'm not saying rapping's easy or anything, but it's not the hardest thing ever. So if there was a contest for being the quickest ass wiper out there, if you were the best at being the quickest ass wiper, no one would give a shit because everyone would think that would be irrelevant.
No one would give a shit.
Exactly. But like that's what I'm saying. Being the best ass wiper means nothing.
No.
So also being the best, being the greatest rapper out there essentially means nothing. You just make more money and you.
Well,
have
here's
more
here's what I was trying to say before. Being the greatest rapper ever might not mean anything in terms of the entire universe. But what I was talking about was people that put out concepts that not only like bring up important issues, but people that are trying to change the world and are trying to like pursue a more positive image of it, or at least reflect back the negative parts of the world, like as a mirror in their music, to try to make people more conscious of the decisions they make and the negativity that they spread.
Yeah.
Are actively like
if you're not trying to if you're trying to move something forward or advance something in any way, I feel like your efforts have become
I'm saying that people in the top of like their industries or
they don't
skill,
try to
they do.
Yeah. Well, they do to an like Katy Perry is not trying to create anything. She's not trying to help anyone.
Katy Perry like at the top of her like industry though?
Katy Perry, talking to Neil deGrasse Tyson, asked if math and science was related.
No, but I mean like...
Here's what I'm saying.
Is she at the top of an industry though? Is the
Who really is at the top of the pop industry? Everyone is pretty much at the same. The only one that you could consider above anyone else would be someone like Drake. But he's not pop and he's not rap. He's like a hybrid mix. That's why he's so popular.
He's rock.
Yeah. So that's what makes him so popular. It's not the fact that he's the greatest ever or that he makes the
Perry
greatest.
like helps people with her music.
Okay, but it's more of like she doesn't necessarily help people because she makes music trying to make people feel better, or she's not making music trying to relate to people.
Yes, she
does. Music in more pop, people feel better because they just like music and they happen to like her music.
Yeah, but Katy Perry has...
And I'm not trying to shit on Katy Perry. I'm not trying to be specific to Katy Perry.
I know.
Before you sound like I'm not trying to shit on Katy Perry. She was just an example.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if you're not trying to... So, like, something I learned when it comes to creating film is if the next shot doesn't advance the story or the scene, don't have that shot. So the way I see it is, if you're going to make a song or an album or even like a beat that doesn't try to advance either your industry or your label or your music or anything like that, if you're not trying to advance it in any way, then don't do it. If it's just for the ideal purpose of making money, then you've already failed yourself and anyone who enjoys your music
and that's,
or any of your art.
Yeah, well, and it's like, I'm not saying that people like the Migos aren't pushing their industry, because they have made music that people have been influenced by and inspired by that changed. I have no fucking clue. We've been running around this place for like
it's like for a minute. I just did like one extra circle.
But they've influenced things and made songs that were really fucking catchy and like good to me at least, and have influenced songs that people could gain enjoyment out of.
Yeah,
but I respect people that push love and positivity more than people that push. Like,
and I think like if obviously creating things is something people do, and I'm not saying don't create shit if you're not trying to make anything better or you're not trying to entertain someone, but if you're just solely making music for the purpose of your own like gain of money or popularity or power, then there's an issue with that. And once you get to that point where you're a Drake, you're a Katy Perry, you're even fucking the Jonas Brothers, if you're now creating simply
don't be dissing Nick.
Simply for gain and not because you just want to create or entertain or move something forward, then you failed everyone, and you need to stop. Which is why this entire era of people who are, I'm an Instagram model, you're a fucking security guard, so you need to get the fuck out of my... Like, did you see that video? Is that VidCon? This Instagram model, however the fuck that happens, this guy, he, like, some security guard told him he wasn't allowed to do something. It was some dumb shit like that. So he's like, well, I have a bunch of million subscribers on Instagram, and I'm fucking popular, and what the fuck are you, just a security guard? Shit like that, that guy... The guy who was like, I have followers and stuff like that. Those are the kind of people that piss me off more than like anyone.
Well, it's people that are like heavily driven by their ego. By the way, guys, please follow me on Instagram.
But it's like they're driven by their egos to the point where they don't care for other people. And then what pisses me off even more is there's people out there that are dumb enough to keep following through and following this guy and being okay with the shit he does.
Yeah. And it's not like I've never like, I mean I've never said shit like that to anyone, but it's not like I've never like done ego-driven things in my life before. Because
the fact that this guy was like, I'm better than you because more people know who I am than people know who you are, is the most piece of shit thing ever.
Oh yeah, it's that
because and the fact that he thinks that that's a step up, like that security guard could have eaten this kid. This kid maybe weighed like 100 pounds, soaking wet with 2 bricks in his pocket. This security guard could have had like an evening snack out of this guy, but he didn't. He just remained calm. But the fact that like this kid didn't realize like the situation he was in, how worse it could have been. Like he could have just like, had I been that security guard, that kid would have eaten my shit. Because I don't like that shit's whatever, and then he would have been like, I'm gonna sue you because whatever. It's the fact that people forget that they're not in just a society or a government where having followers and being able to gain money over someone else exists. Like they forget that they just kind of exist on a planet that is floating around space.
Nothing actually makes you better than anyone. We're all pieces of shit.
We're all the same decomposing matter as everyone else.
I'm made out of stardust. I don't know about you.
And we're all gonna die one day. So on that note,